I had my boyfriend with me, and he was like, okay, like, we're gonna hide in the bathroom, and then we're gonna like sneak out, and you're gonna get the picture. And I'm like, okay, like, this is nerve-wracking.
Welcome to Season 3 of There's a Fly in My SEWP, the podcast for all people who crave creativity. Brought to you by Hot Soup Media. Hot Soup builds a buzz for your business with really cool videos and all that other marketing stuff. We are Central Iowa's award-winning content creators. And now, here's your host, Sean Wilson. Enjoy the show.
A camera doesn't stop time. It only reminds us that time was there. A laugh, a first kiss, a championship, a wedding. Moments that seem ordinary until they're memories. Maybe that's why we're drawn to photographs. Not because they preserve the past, but because they prove it happened. Meredith Chipps of Meredith Chipps Photography.
Yes.
Thanks for coming in.
You're welcome.
It was kind of a funny, I don't know if I'm sure you remember, but it was really about 6 years ago almost that you rode with me to record a podcast.
Yes.
With sprint car driver.
McKenna Hassey.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that.
So the odd thing is, at that point, did you ever think that at some point you'd be on this side of the microphone?
No, not really. I remember being there and I was just like, that would be so cool to like be on that side of the microphone and be the one getting interviewed for a podcast.
Well, I know you like sprint car driving, but what was your like of McKenna Hassey? Was it because she was a sprint car driver, or was it because she was a young lady that like takes charge of life and she makes stuff happen?
Yeah, I think at that point I was kind of just like, this is so cool. She's the only girl in sprint car driving that I know of and that is at Knoxville Raceway, and like I'm going every weekend with my family. So it was just cool to see a girl being able to win all these races and everything. So at that time, it was just cool to see a young girl to be able to do that.
So now, fast forward 6 years, you're the one in the hot seat sitting here behind the microphone. What do you think McKenna would say to you, knowing that you're kind of starting your journey and adventure?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, she probably doesn't even remember that I was there, honestly.
I bet she does.
She might, but like, I think she'd kind of just be like, you know, that's awesome that, you know, you're a young woman that is taking charge, wanting to start your own business and doing what you love. So,
have you changed a lot since then? Since that interview, sitting in her living room in Carlisle?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
So that brings us to, you are starting a journey. Tell us about how photography became a part of your life.
Yeah, so I grew up doing 4-H and FFA. Well, not really grew up, but like I just graduated last year. So I started 4-H when I was in 3rd grade, and you know, I live in town in Monroe, and I really wanted farm animals, but obviously I live in town, so I wasn't able to. So I don't even really know how it started, but my mom had a camera and we were out at my grandparents' house, and I'm like, you know what? Why don't I just take some pictures of my grandma's flowers? My grandpa had a cow at the moment, so I was like, let me just go take pictures of that. So at that time I was like, okay, easy project to take to county fair, easy blue ribbon. I mean, you know, at the time I was kind of like, okay, I like this, like easy enough, you know. My mom helped me with the whole like editing process because she's a graphic designer and she had all of that software. And yeah, just at the time it was really easy to be able to do that. And as I got older, I was kind of like, okay, still an easy project to take to county fair. And then as I got into high school, I was a wrestling manager, and it was kind of just like, oh, let me just take my camera to these wrestling meets and take some pictures, fiddle around. I mean, wrestling is a very fast-paced sport sometimes, so getting used to like that fast-paced environment, taking photos was a learning experience, but then, taking those photos to county fair and then they make it to state fair. So, and then as I graduated high school, I was kind of thinking, I'm like, you know what? I kind of want to make this like a little side hustle of mine. I'm getting out of high school, I'm going to college. I want to make a little bit of money, and I want to try out portrait photography. So after I graduated, I reached out to a few friends. There was a few girls that wanted to do like a little friend session with me, and I'm like, you know what, we'll do it for free. I don't really know what I'm doing, but let's just try this out. So that's kind of where it all started and where it all began. And then I kind of started to like doing all the social media and the graphic design kind of part of it, designing my own website and editing. So yeah, that's kind of where it's starting and where it's at right now.
It's funny, two things that pop out of what you just said was like, well, you had a camera and there was some cows and you could just take a picture. But do you notice now that taking a picture isn't taking a picture? Mm-hmm. And the example I'll use is you're on vacation and you're trying to take a selfie of yourself. And someone notices and says, oh, we'll take your picture if you take ours.
Yeah.
So you take their picture. It could even be on a phone, and it's awesome. The composition's right. Mm-hmm. And then they take your picture and hand it to you, and it's garbage. Yeah. Same phone, same whatever, same setting. Mm-hmm. But it's just, you try to explain that there's a different eyeball that people who take photographs put on a camera versus just someone snapping a picture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like, I learned a lot about the more like how to take a picture and what do you want to stand out about the picture that you're taking. When I was in 4-H and I was getting my photos judged, when the judges would be like, okay, here's the rule of thirds, this is how you want your photo to be portrayed. This is what sticks out to me. Here's maybe some things that you can work on. And every year I would take that and, try and get better as I went on. So that was something that was really helpful when I was younger to, do that. And then this past spring, I had the opportunity to intern with Cadence Overby. She is a livestock photographer. She graduated from Iowa State in ag communications, and she has this amazing photography business, and she does the cattle show for the Block and Bridle Club. So I was able to intern with her, and I learned a lot about, angles and editing and working with other photographers at once at the same event, and what she's looking for, and working over somebody too. So that was a really awesome experience. And yeah,
it's good learning the rules and the principle, and then getting savvy and artistic and bold enough to know when to break the rules, if that's what's going to help tell the story of the picture.
Yeah.
And then what I like is that fast pace of the wrestling.
Yes.
Like shooting video and news, that's how you cut your teeth, and it was fast paced. I prefer to slow down, but that really helps. You've already, versus going through the slow pace and then being thrown into the fire of the fast pace. That's a totally different ball. So coming from that fast pace and being able to slow down probably was a blessing.
It was. Yeah, it was really nice, but then it was also like, oh, maybe I missed that fast-paced environment, maybe a little bit, but I'm very thankful I started out there and then slowed it down.
Is that when you knew it kind of started becoming more than just a hobby?
Yeah, I did. Because, when I had more people reaching out to me, being like, can you take my pictures? I know you're just starting out, but I'd really love to help you build your portfolio and everything. That's when I knew, I'm like, yeah, this is what I want to do in the future. This is what I want to keep doing.
But there's a lot of people that have a passion and a hobby that they want to do that. Was there something that specifically triggered you to say, I'm done talking about it. It's time to start doing it?
Yeah. I think it was when I was just about to graduate high school and I was done, with wrestling managing and all that. I'm like, you know what? I want to do this. Like, I want to take every opportunity that I can and do this and try it out, see if I like it. And, I love it. I love doing it. I can work as much as I want. I can work as little as I want. I can be as creative as I want. And I think I always see things about like people saying, do what you love and love what you do, something like that. Or if like it's not a job, it doesn't feel like a job. You'll never work a day in your life. So like that's kind of the way I look at it as.
Every creative person has a story. Some begin in a garage. Some begin in a basement. Some begin in a bathroom. Funny where inspiration decides to show up. Where does creativity come from?
I really don't even know, honestly. I think, like, I'd say that my mom's side of the family and my mom are very creative. I mean, my mom's a graphic designer. She knows a lot. I mean, even to this day, I'm asking my mom, like, hey, does this look okay? Does this, like, if I want to make a social media post, does this sound right? Or if I'm talking to a client and I'm maybe confused, does this sound okay? And then, like, I'd say that the creative side comes from that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that one of your inspirations outside of photography?
Yeah, I would say so. My mom, she's a graphic designer, like I said, but she also does a lot of like paintings. I mean, our house is full of paintings that she's done, and right now that she is trying to build her own business of selling these paintings. So she's trying to get into art shows and art fairs where she can show off her paintings, and she has an Instagram where she does all of that, and she loves doing it too, and it's just like a fun hobby of hers.
But I'm guessing there's probably something that you were born with, that growing up, if someone did something the same that you were doing it, you put an extra little Meredith touch on it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I feel like when I was younger, it always was kind of like, when you're drawing a picture of your family or something, and people were always like, oh, put a sun or something. I'd always put it in the corner. That's because I'm like, that's where the sun is. I don't know. Like, that makes sense to me. And then I'll write more details into it. And yeah.
Do you ever get stuck creatively?
Yeah. I mean, I have a livestock show coming up this weekend. It's my first show that I've ever taken pictures of by myself. And I wanted to make some banners of it so then people can scan a QR code to download their photos. And I was in Canva and I'm like, I don't even know where to start. I'm not good at this. I had my mom help me a little bit, and she's like, what are you talking about? What you have is just fine. And I'm like, yeah, but like there needs to be like a little bit more to it. I don't know if I need to change the font. I don't know. Like there needs to be something more than it's just, okay, a big pink banner with a QR code and my logo. You know what I mean? Like I wanted more of that, I don't know, detail, or I don't know. But like now I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm like, okay, everything doesn't have to be so extravagant and crazy. Everything can be, simple and the way it should be.
Well, I have clients that we get into that. They produce content and then they just stew over it. And it's like, well, now nobody in the world gets to see it when you could at least put something in the world.
Yeah. And like, that's kind of where I'm at right now with like, I want to make like TikToks and trends that are going on with photography, or I see posts of other photographers and I'm kind of just like, oh, I want to do that. But like, I don't know how I should execute it. I don't know how much I should really do. And then I'm like, shoot, well, that trend's over with. People don't talk about that trend anymore. I just lost my chance to do that. So, oh well, but,
Kevin Cooney's son is Alex, is a very good photographer, and he did a lot of political shoots. And what I'm going to ask is what you think makes a photo memorable, because what I liked about Alex Cooney was if he'd be at a political event taking a picture of, say, a politician at the podium, he'd notice the little kid behind him. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's the thing that you notice. It's like, who cares about the guy at the podium? Look what this little kid's doing.
Yeah. 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 I I think a lot of that I've learned is going to my FFA chapter. They had a sheep and goat show that they would always do, and I would bring my camera to it, and I'd always try and get pictures of the little kids with their sheep. They're holding their sheep, and they're watching the big kids in the ring show their lambs, and that's kind of what I looked at too, because it's like I was that kid. I looked up to these older kids that showed their animals, so I want to capture that moment so then one day they can look back on that and be like, wow, like I'm that big kid now that's in the show ring that's doing all this amazing things, and I know that I have kids just like me that is looking at me, and you always have an audience. So, yeah.
Well, your photography career is still young in the grand scheme of things. So in that let's call it a short time, do you have an image that sticks out in your head that you look at and you just like personally go, oh, that's the one to date?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That is a hard question. Oh, I don't even know. I don't know. There's so many that I've loved just because I'll pick out my favorites throughout the year and I'll take them to county fair or something, but I don't know. I'd probably have to say one of my favorite photos was I just did an engagement session with one of my boyfriend's friends, actually, that I've gotten to know. And I was able to, like, it was the first time that he was like, he reached out to me and he was like, can you take me and my girlfriend's engagement pictures? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, of course. When, where, and what? And he's like, no, like I actually like am going to be proposing there. Yeah. Like you need to hide. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. I need to figure this out. So luckily I had my boyfriend with me and he was like, okay, like we're going to hide in the bathroom at Thomas Mitchell Park and he's going to text me, blah, blah, blah. And then we're going to like sneak out and you're going to get the picture. And I'm like, okay, like this is nerve wracking. And I was like in the bathroom and I'm like, this is so scary. I can't I'm scared for them and I don't even know them. And like, I'd say that was one of my biggest things, but.
Well, that's one of those deals. You got one shot.
Yeah. And I'm like, I've never done this.
They could redo it.
Yeah.
But it's not the same.
It's not the same. No. So I'd have to say like, this is my favorite picture that I've taken recently.
Okay.
Of them proposing. And then,
is the story?
This was their engagement session.
So I think that the story, it sounds like the story maybe is more important to you than the actual.
Yeah.
Like, I think that goes back to anyone can take a picture, but who can capture a story?
Yeah. I think that's like the biggest thing I've done with like, with wrestling. Like I've taken pictures where I think it was Caliber Fry where he was at the state tournament and he was like down in position and the kid was about to go behind him before the whistle and he was just like staring and like he like you could tell he was just out of it and he was like, you know what, I'm gonna keep this going. He ended up winning the match, I'm pretty sure, and that's when I took that shot of him like down in that position, just focused and ready to get out of that. So I think that that's something that I always look at is what's some of the not really like hard things that's going on, but what's like, there's something going on behind that picture. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like you can tell that person is determined and, ready to. And
you didn't take your time and go back and say, hey, could you go lay back down there again and put that look on your face?
Can you do this again in front of all these people?
I love that. Are you full-time with Meredith Chipps Photography yet?
No.
Okay.
Because I still go, I'm going to be a sophomore at Iowa State University studying journalism and mass communications. Okay.
So what's been the most exciting part of this process of getting it rolling?
I think one of the like most exciting things is when my like Instagram DMs are just like going off and I have like, I wouldn't say a lot, but like a small handful of people that are like, hey, can you do this? I'd love for you to take my photos. Even like good friends of mine that are like, hey, I know you started last year and we weren't able to do it. I really want you to do my pictures still. And, one of my really good friends that I just took her couples photos for this spring, she just messaged me like a few days ago talking about how, hey, I really loved how our pictures turned out. Will you do me and my boyfriend's wedding? And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I really would hope in the future that it's going to get, to be my full-time job. I would love that, but you never know.
Yeah.
So,
well, has there been any hurdles or anything that's kind of starting a business is like, wow, this is harder than I thought? Or was it easier than you thought?
I wouldn't say it was like easy, but I think like one thing I would say is when I post like pictures on Instagram and I can see, because I have a business account, I can see how many viewers I have. And, I'm getting 2,000 views on these posts. And I'm like, why? Like, I'm getting this many views. Why is there not more people that maybe are reaching out? Or, I'm getting all these views. Why is there not more likes? Why is there not more comments? Kind of more sharing, that kind of thing. That's kind of like where I'm at right now. I'm like, okay, I have all these views, but why? Yep. What's going on? Like,
I think you just explained the emotions of about 99.9 of all content creators, which is why we discuss here the not giving up when 99.9% of the people do give up.
Yeah.
You say, well, I'm going to keep going because I'm doing what I love to do.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, that gets frustrating.
It does, but I love to do it, so I'm going to keep doing it. And yeah.
Have you learned anything along the way that you kind of wish I knew this a few years ago?
I think one thing that I'm like kind of learning right now is my editing style is a little all over the place right now. So, like I said, my friend Peyton that I took her and her boyfriend's pictures for in maybe, April, is more like a darker tone, more maybe like fall-ish tone. And compared to like the engagement pictures I just took a few weeks ago, which is very bright and summery, I'm kind of in that position right now. I'm like, okay, what is my editing style and what do I want to keep that as? And because that's really what I feel like is going to draw more people in is, okay, this girl has a consistent editing style and I like that style. I want to go with her. I think that's kind of like where I'm at right now and I need to keep doing is keeping that same editing style because I've kind of been in the position where I'm like, oh, I like this preset. Let's do that. It goes with the vibe. Like, let's do that. But I'm like, no, like I need to stay with this one preset that I have and keep doing that.
Keep the Meredith look.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite camera setup?
So I used to use not a Canon, what was it? Nikon. I used to use a Nikon D3400 and I don't even remember what the lens was, but it was the camera that I literally had forever and I used for a really long time until this January when I got big upgrade. I got a Canon R6 Mark II with I believe it's a 24-25 to 105 lens. I don't even ever want any other camera ever.
That's awesome to have that feeling.
It is, because I'm like, I've used it before when I have gotten to weddings to be a second photographer, and because they would always rent a camera because my camera was junk and it was not good for a wedding. So I was used to using that. I'm like, I love this camera so much. I don't want any other camera. This is the camera I want until years later when there's going to be an upgrade. So, yeah.
If you've been watching Hot Soup Shorts, you'd know that the best camera is the one that helps you tell the story.
That's right. Yes.
Somewhere, there's a photograph that hasn't become important yet. sitting in a frame, waiting for the day someone looks at it and says, that was truly special. Where do you hope the business is a year from now or moving forward into the future?
I'd have to say, I mean, my biggest goal of mine is like, I would love to, obviously make my business bigger, if that makes sense, having more clients, maybe doing reoccurring like lifestyle shows that I go back each year and take photos at. I'd say that's one of my biggest goals, is to have that, and then being able to build like clientele where they trust me and I trust them, that kind of thing. And I'd love to be able to travel more and, see more. I mean, I am still young and I'd like to see more of the world. So I think that's one of my biggest goals. Another one is that I would love to have like a studio or something, whether it's here in Monroe or somewhere close around here, where it's just like a place that I can be, that, if it's December or January and I can still get people in and take their photos. So I think those are some big goals of mine that I would love to do in the future.
What advice would you give someone who's sitting on an idea? I have tons of people that have these little, I talk to all the time, and I always say, you got to do.
Yeah.
You can't do unless you do.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give someone that's like, I've got this hobby or this passion, but I have a full-time job. I can't give that up. It's like, well, yeah, no one's asking you to give that up.
No. Yeah.
What advice would you give those people to help them get started on something that they care about?
I think I'd say, like, you just have to do it. I mean, that's a lot easier said than done, but I think one of the biggest things that I have learned along the way is, I'm not a professional. I don't have a degree in photography. I don't have any certificates at all. Like, I'm not to that point yet, but I still am doing a lot of research. Like last night, I needed to get some extra batteries for my camera, and I was like Googling and asking ChatGPT, okay, is this battery, is this compatible? Is this a good one? When I edit pictures, I'm still asking the internet, how can I select out my pictures so then they can all be edited at the same time? I'm still asking questions every single time I edit. So like, don't be afraid of like being scared or not knowing what you're doing, because it's gonna be a learning curve, and you just kind of have to keep going with it and not be afraid to ask questions to anyone or anybody. I mean, like, I'm asking my mom, and she's never owned a photography business. I ask my boyfriend sometimes for advice. He doesn't know a lot about photography, but like, I still ask them for advice just to like see what they think. So I would say just don't be afraid to ask questions and reach out to people.
Do you want to know a secret? I'm 30 years plus into this business, this industry. That doesn't stop.
No.
It never stops.
I
look up stuff. I look up something every day because either it's a combination of A, you just don't know.
Yeah.
Or B, you have a passion to get better.
Yeah.
And C, trends change. Technology changes.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it never goes away.
Yeah. And I didn't think it would ever, just because like you said, everything's changing. So,
The day a creator or an artist has reached the pinnacle where I've done it, I have all the creative answers. Someone will throw a $10 billion at you because you just reached. How do people get a hold of you? What's the best way if someone says, "Hey"? Yeah.
I'd always say, honestly, either text me my phone number, which that's probably my second option. But my first option is message me on my Instagram account. I check that every single day. I check if I have a request from people in my DMs if they have questions. I'd say that's probably the biggest thing. I also have a website where people can go to and, fill out their name, and it sends me an email. But I mean, I check my email every day, but it's never really like a main source. I don't like doing emails. I don't know why. I think it's maybe just the age I am that I just like going through Instagram. I find it easier. I find it more casual. So, yeah.
We'll put some links in the description.
Perfect.
And then in wrapping, just let's get philosophical here as we close this down. You're long gone. You've left this earth. Someone, a distant relative, a complete stranger. Maybe the world gets obliterated and there's one person left on the earth, and they find in the rubble one photograph that was taken by Meredith Chipps Photography. What would you want that picture to be of?
I don't know. I don't know. I think it would probably be of like, maybe like a couple. Just because right now I get a lot of people that ask me to take couples photos, and I've gotten to the point where I really enjoy doing it. Although sometimes it gets kind of awkward where it's like, okay, go over there and you're gonna hug each other and kiss right in front of me, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of awkward to like ask this, but I like doing it, and I like going through all the photos when I'm editing. I'm like, oh, they're so cute. Like, I love their love story, no matter what it is, but I think that that's something that I would want to keep doing forever, and I think that that's something that I would love for people to see later on if I am gone, is other people's stories. So, yeah.
Thank you for listening to There's a Fly in My Soup. To help support this podcast, please share it with friends and leave a rating or review. From all of us at Hot Soup Media, have a great day and keep craving content.
How was it?
It was great. It was a good time.
That's it? It was great. It was a good time.
It was a great time.
Were you nervous coming in?
Yeah, a little bit.
Why?
I don't know why. I think it's when I'm like talking about myself and talking about like my story and things I've done. I don't know. I get emotional.